up guys, this is Joe from Fandroid, and this is 50 plus tips and tricks for the Samsung Galaxy S7 or Galaxy S7 Edge. One of the newest features on the Galaxy S7 is always on display. And so we'll turn that on. We'll go to device and display, and there's always on display. We're going to turn that on, and you can choose what you want to show. You can do the clock, calendar, or an image, and then you can also adjust the clock style and add a background image if you want. And when you have that enabled, what it will do is it'll throw on this always on display when the actual display is off, and you can check the time without turning on the phone. There are a couple different ways that you can get better battery life in a pinch. We'll go into the battery settings, and there are two different power saving modes. The regular power saving mode will turn the phone into a lower performance setting so that things like vibration aren't enabled, and settings like Bluetooth and stuff are turned off, but you can still use the phone pretty much normally. If we go to the other one, ultra power saving mode is much more extreme. This is going to put the phone into a black and white grayscale mode. It's going to completely replace our home screen with a few shortcuts so that it's really limited to what you can actually do. And this is what ultra power saving mode looks like. Another good way to save battery life is to make sure things like Smart Stay and Always On Display are disabled, because those will turn on your display when you don't necessarily need it and use up battery life. The Galaxy S7 has a fingerprint scanner in the home button, and you can use that to unlock your phone with your fingerprint and do some other cool things. To add your fingerprint, you're going to go to lock screen and security settings, tap on fingerprints, and add a fingerprint. And we're just going to follow the on-screen steps. First, you're going to have a backup security method, so we'll add a pattern lock here. And now we're just going to tap our fingerprint a bunch of times until it has our finger fully scanned. A nice shortcut for taking photos quickly is to double tap the home button to quickly launch the camera. This should be enabled by default, but if it isn't, you can go into the settings and you're going to make sure quick launch is enabled. Many of you will be happy to learn that Samsung has added the SD card back to their phones. So on the top here, you'll see a little SIM tray. We're going to use our tool to go into that little hole there, pop that out. And on the top is where the SD card can go, and the bottom is where the SIM can go. Put it in there, and you can use up to 200 gigabytes of extra storage. By default, Samsung and Google block offensive words when you're using voice typing or voice commands. They'll replace it with stars. If you are an adult and you are allowed to swear, you can go into the settings and disable that. So we'll go into Google voice typing, and we're going to uncheck block offensive words. Now you can just swear to your heart's content. If there's an app that's giving you notifications that you don't want to see, there's a way that you can block that. In the settings, we're going to go to notifications, and here you're going to see a list of all the apps that can send notifications. Simply uncheck the ones that you don't want to be bugged by, and they won't appear anymore. Another way to block annoying notifications is to set up Do Not Disturb mode. So we go into sound and vibration settings, Do Not Disturb. We can turn it on right now, and that's going to block pretty much everything from coming on your phone. Or you can have a schedule, and that will turn it on automatically in certain times of days. So I have it set up to turn on at 11 p.m. and to end at 8 a.m. every day. And if you do that, you're going to want to allow some custom exceptions. So you're going to want to make sure alarms can go through. You're going to want to make sure maybe repeat callers can come through, so that if it's something really important happening, you still get the call. And you can also make sure that your favorite contacts and messages and calls always get through. And that's so that you don't miss something important, even though you have Do Not Disturb enabled. You may have some kind of password or pattern lock set up on your lock screen to keep people from getting your phone, but that doesn't mean they can't see notifications on your lock screen, and sometimes there can be some personal information there. If you want to block that stuff from showing up on your lock screen, we can go into lock screen and security, then we're going to tap on notifications on the lock screen, and content on the lock screen. Now we can show the content, hide the content, or do not show notifications at all. If we hide the content, it's going to show that you have a notification, but it's going to block the contents of that notification so that if you have a personal text message or something like that, people won't be able to see the contents, but you'll still be able to see the notification. You can also just turn off certain apps from showing on the lock screen as well. If there's an app in your app drawer that you want to have removed, there's a really easy way you can do that. Just tap the edit button and we can tap this minus icon, and that will uninstall or disable any app that you have. It'll remove it from your app drawer and it will get rid of it on your phone as well. One of the new features in Android Marshmallow is the ability to control permissions on a much deeper level for apps. So if we go into privacy and safety and app permissions, it's going to show all the types of permissions that apps need. And so something like location, you may not want an app to be able to access your location. And we can go in here and this is going to show every app that accesses your location. And so if you don't want, let's say, Chrome to ever know your location, we can turn that off here. You can also go and turn off many other things such as access to the microphone, SMS, storage. You can control that all right from here. The default Samsung keyboard has a swipe method enabled that you can use to type. If we go into language and input, Samsung keyboard, you're going to see keyboard swipe. We can have that be a continuous input, and so you can slide your finger around the keyboard and type words, or you can have cursor control. We're going to keep it on continuous input. If you want to add more home pages to your home screen, we can just do a pinch gesture here and slide over and tap the plus button, and there we have another home screen. If you want to get rid of it, simply long press on the page and drag it up to the delete button. We can also make more room on the home screen so that you can put more icons and widgets there. We're going to do the same pinch gesture. We're going to tap screen grid, and here you can choose from 4x4 all the way up to 5x5. If you want to get rid of this annoying briefing page, you can easily do that by swiping, going over, and disabling that page, and now it's gone. If you're annoyed by all the little sounds and vibrations that happen by default when you're tapping around on your phone and doing certain things, we can go into sounds and vibration, scroll down to touch sounds, and turn that off. You can also turn off screen lock sounds, charging the sounds, and vibration feedback, and now your phone will not make any noises when you're interacting with it. If you open a game, you're going to notice a new feature that shows up in a little bubble right here. We can tap this. This is going to give us more options for things we can do while we're playing a game. So for example, you can turn no alerts on, so when you're playing a game you're not bugged by anything else. You can lock the recent and back keys on the bottom here so you don't accidentally press those. You take a screenshot of your game. You can even record your game. But the coolest thing is you can minimize it, and it's going to put it into a little bubble here that we can move around the screen. You can do whatever you wanted to do quick, and then when you're ready to pop back into your game, just tap that and you're right where you left off. If you want to change how your music sounds, or how any sound that comes out of this phone speaker sound, we can go into sounds and vibration settings. There's sound quality and effects. Now there's an equalizer here. We can tap this to choose from different presets. Let's say we play a lot of rock music. Let's go to rock, and then we have that. Or you can just dial these things in yourself to have a completely custom sound, and this will make the sound exactly like you want to sound. If you have a limited data plan, you might want to set up some limits so you don't actually go over your data allotment. In the data usage settings here, we can change this to be a warning, so when we reach a certain amount we'll get a notification. But we can also set a data limit, which will actually restrict data once we reach a certain point. And if your bill is on a certain cycle, you can change that right here so that your phone knows when it can renew the data. Did you know that the Galaxy S7 is now water resistant? Yep, it is, and you don't have to do anything special. So next time you drop your phone in the sink, don't worry about it. A quick and easy way to share something to someone nearby is with NFC. And if we go into the NFC and payment options here, there's something called Android Beam. If we turn this on, you can actually tap your phone back to back with someone else who has NFC, and when you do that, you'll be able to tap the screen, as you can see here, and instantly send the thing to that other device without going over the internet or anything like that. The Galaxy S7 has a AMOLED display, which means colors are very vibrant and blacks are very deep. If you want to adjust exactly how these colors look, we can go into the display and we'll go down to screen mode. There's a couple different modes we can choose from here. Adaptive display will kind of adjust the display to look how Samsung thinks is best. We can go into AMOLED Cinema, which is going to make things a little bit even more vibrant and deep colors. AMOLED Photo is going to do a little bit less of that, and then Basic is going to be less saturated, less deep, and more true to life. You can choose whichever one you think looks the best. If you have small hands, you might find the Galaxy S7 a little big to use. If we go into the advanced features, there's something called one-handed operation. And we can turn this on so that when we tap the home button 3 times quickly, it's going to put this into a smaller mode, and now we can actually use this easily with one hand because everything is put into this corner, and I can move it over there or here depending on what hand I'm using. The Galaxy S7 supports widgets, of course, and Samsung has a few interesting ones that you might want to check out. First one is called Magnifier, and when we put this on the screen and tap this, it's going to actually open a camera type thing and allow you to magnify something that you're looking at. Another one is called My Places. This is going to try to detect where you are, and it's going to put certain apps in this little launcher here. So if you're at work and it detects that you use certain apps at work, when you're there, you'll see those apps show up in here. Another widget is Picture Frame, and this will allow you to actually put pictures on your home screen in a little frame. So we can go to Images here, and I want to put this Instagram photo on my home screen at all times, and boom, there it is, and I can make it as big as I want. There are a couple different ways that we can do multitasking on the Galaxy S7. The first is with dual window. If we hold down the Recents button, we can open apps. So in the top here, I can put, let's say, Instagram. And in the bottom here, we'll put Internet. And now we have 2 apps open on the top and bottom. Another way we can do that is with something called pop-up window. So when we're in an app, we're going to drag from this top corner down across the screen. You can see it's resizing the window. When I let go, it's going to put it into a floating window, and I can actually drag this around and put it wherever I want. When I want to go back, I can just tap full screen, and then we're back. Direct call is a way to quickly call someone when you're looking at them on your screen. So when we have this enabled, let's say you are on a message with one of your friends in text messaging, and now when this is enabled and we're texting that person, I can directly put the phone to my ear, and it's going to automatically call that person who's on my screen right now. Have you ever handed your phone to someone to use your phone, or maybe just to use a certain app to do something, and you don't want them to go exploring around your phone? There's a way that you can do that. So in the lock screen and security settings, we're going to go to Other Security Settings, and we're going to find Pin Windows. We're going to turn this on, and now what you can do is when we tap the multitasking button here, and let's say we want to pin the settings. I tap that little pin button, and now I can't go anywhere else. I'm tapping the home button and I can't go anywhere else. I am stuck in the settings app no matter what. And if I know how to get out, I can tap both these buttons at the same time, and now I'm no longer locked. I'm put to the lock screen. So if I know how to get into my phone, I can just unlock it, but the other person would still not be able to do anything else. On the lock screen here, you'll notice that I have my name and I have 2 shortcuts on the bottom. You can actually customize that. So if we go to lock screen and security settings, info and app shortcuts, I can put anything I want for owner information. So you can put your phone, you could put an email address, something that would help someone find you if they find your phone. And then you can also choose these 2 shortcuts. So you have a left shortcut, which can be any app on your phone, and you have a right shortcut, which can be any app on your phone. Well, most of the app. And then that will allow you to quickly, from your lock screen, jump right into that app. The Galaxy S7 can do fast charging in 2 ways. One is by plugging in the included fast charging cable. The other is by buying the Samsung Fast Charger. This is wireless charging and it's nearly as fast as plugging it in. All you do is put it on the charger and the phone is now going to charge wirelessly much faster than other wireless chargers. If you're in a troubled situation and you need to get help but you don't have a lot of time to fiddle with your phone, you can use SOS messages. This is in the privacy and safety settings and you're going to want to turn this on. You're going to choose someone from your contacts to send messages to, and you can attach a picture which is going to automatically take a picture from the front and rear cameras. It's going to also attach some audio, and what's going to happen is when you're in trouble, you're going to press the power key 3 times quickly and it's going to automatically send all of this information to the contacts that you've selected, and then they'll be able to come and help you. If you're giving this phone to someone who's maybe not as tech savvy as you are, there's something called easy mode that you can use, and that's in the personal settings. We'll go to easy mode, we're going to tap that on, and you can see a little preview of what it's going to do here. It's going to put it into the launcher and it's going to make things super simple, which with a clock and some weather and a few icons. On the left side you can add some favorite contacts to quickly call, and then you can add some other apps here. We can actually choose the easy application to show up from here, and when we're done it's going to switch to that theme, and that's going to make it a lot easier for those people who maybe not good with smartphones. The cool thing about easy mode is it does more than just the home screen as well. If we go into the settings here, you're going to notice that the settings have been themed as well. The text is bigger, the colors are easier to read, and that's going to make things a lot easier for that person to use as well. If you get a lot of notifications, you might want to be reminded of those notifications. If we go into the accessibility settings, there's something called notification reminder. And when we turn this on, we can select apps to be reminded of. So we can set a 1 minute interval here all the way up to 15 minutes. And what's going to happen is when we get a notification from one of these apps, it's going to give us that initial alert, and then it's going to wait this amount of time, and then it's going to alert us again until we take action on that notification. So if there's an app that is very important to you and you don't want to miss it, this is something that you can use. The Google app is great because you can do things like, okay Google, show me pictures of dogs. And that's really cool because you can do that in the Google app, but you can also do that from anywhere on your phone if you have it set up. So we'll go into the settings and we'll go to voice and we'll go to OK Google detection, and we're going to tap from any screen, and this is going to allow me to do this anywhere. First thing I'm going to say, OK Google, OK Google, OK Google. And now I'm done with that. And now if I do this from, let's say I'm in the Play Store, I'm in another app, and I can say, okay Google, show me pictures of cats. There are some secret settings that you can enable to do some special things on this phone. So if we go to the About device, and we're going to find the build number, we're going to tap on that a bunch of times until it says you're a developer. I'm already a developer. And now you're going to see developer options in the system. And now you're going to see developer options in the system. And in here, the one thing that you're going to really want to do is we're going to find window animation, transition animation, and animation duration. These are all set to 1 by default, but if we go to 0.5, you'll notice that the animations are going to be a lot quicker and the phone's going to feel even snappier than it already is. The last thing you want to do is go to androidforums.com and find the Samsung Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge forums. Here you will find other people who have this phone and they're sharing lots of interesting stuff, asking questions, answering questions, sharing accessories, and all that good stuff about the phone that you have. This is a great resource for Galaxy S7 users. And that's all our tips and trips for the Galaxy S7. Thanks for watching everybody, and we'll see you in the next one.